Picture this. You're standing in the eye of a storm. Chaos swirls around you. Deadlines crushing down, relationships fracturing, expectations weighing heavy on your shoulders. Yet somehow, in this very center, there's a profound stillness. Not the stillness of numbness or disconnection, but the kind of peace that comes from knowing something deeper about yourself and reality. This isn't fantasy. This is what the ancient Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable tranquility of mind. And today, we're going to explore 15 profound laws that can build this unbreakable inner peace within you. Before we dive deep into these transformative principles, I want you to know that this journey we're about to take together isn't just about philosophy. It's about reclaiming your power. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to build that fortress of peace within your mind, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe and ring that bell, because we're building a community of people who refuse to let the external world dictate their internal state. Your engagement tells me you're serious about this transformation, and I'm here for every step of that journey with you. The first law that Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, lived by was this: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't just a nice quote to post on Instagram. This is a fundamental shift in how you perceive reality itself. Most people live as prisoners of their circumstances. They wake up and immediately check their phones, letting the outside world flood their consciousness before they've even had a moment to center themselves. They react to traffic, to their boss's mood, to the news, to other people's opinions, as if these external forces have some mystical power over their inner world. But here's what the Stoics understood 2,300 years ago. The only realm you truly govern is the kingdom of your own mind. When you wake up tomorrow morning, before you reach for that phone, before you let the world in, spend just 5 minutes acknowledging this truth. Your thoughts, your reactions, your emotional responses, these are your domain. Everything else is just weather passing through your sky. You don't curse the rain for falling or praise the sun for shining. You simply observe, accept, and choose how to respond from your place of inner authority. The second law builds naturally from the first. Distinguish between what is up to you and what is not up to you. Epictetus, who knew suffering intimately as a former slave, taught us that our opinions, desires, actions, and responses are up to us. Everything else, other people's actions, the past, the future, our reputation, our health, even our death, is not up to us. This sounds simple, but living it is revolutionary. Most of your suffering comes from trying to control things that aren't in your control while neglecting the things that are. Think about the last time you felt genuinely stressed or anxious. I'm willing to bet it was because you were mentally wrestling with something outside your control. Maybe you were worried about how someone would react to something you said. Maybe you were replaying a past conversation, wishing you could change it. Maybe you were catastrophizing about future events that may never happen. All of this energy, all of this mental and emotional resource was being poured into territories you have no sovereignty over. The third law is perhaps the most challenging for our ego-driven culture. Your worth is not determined by external validation or achievement. The Stoics understood that when you tie your sense of self-worth to things outside your control, other people's opinions, your job title, your bank account, your social media likes, you become a slave to forces beyond your influence. You wake up every day having to earn your value again and again, never quite sure if you're enough. True inner peace comes from what the Stoics called living according to virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline. These are internal qualities that no one can take from you. No market crash can diminish, no criticism can erode. When your sense of worth comes from how well you're living these principles rather than what you're achieving or accumulating, you become unshakable. Success becomes a byproduct of character rather than the foundation of identity. The fourth law reveals a profound secret about resilience. Practice voluntary discomfort to build strength. The Stoics regularly practiced what they called premeditatio malorum, imagining loss, setback, or difficulty not to become pessimistic, but to build psychological resilience and appreciation for what they had. They would sleep on the floor occasionally, eat simple meals, take cold showers, walk in uncomfortable weather. not because they were masochists, but because they understood that comfort is the enemy of strength. When you voluntarily expose yourself to minor discomforts, you're training your mind to remain calm and centered when involuntary discomforts arise. You're building what psychologists now call stress inoculation. The person who has never experienced any difficulty crumbles at the first sign of real challenge. But the person who has trained themselves to remain peaceful in small storms can weather the great hurricanes of life with grace and wisdom. The fifth law requires us to confront one of humanity's greatest taboos. Remember that you will die. The Stoics practiced memento mori not to become morbid, but to gain perspective and urgency about what truly matters. When you really absorb the fact that your time here is limited and precious, so many of the things you worry about reveal themselves as insignificant. That argument you had with your coworker, that embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago that still keeps you up at night, the opinion of someone whose name you won't even remember in 5 years, all of it shrinks to its proper size when held against the vast reality of mortality. But memento mori doesn't just put problems in perspective, it also clarifies priorities. If you knew you had exactly 1 year left to live, how would you spend today? What conversations would you have? What would you stop doing? What would you start doing? The awareness of death isn't meant to paralyze you with fear, but to liberate you from the prison of the trivial and redirect your energy toward what genuinely matters. The sixth law transforms how we handle difficult people and situations. Don't take anything personally. When someone is rude to you, dismissive, critical, or hostile, your natural instinct is to absorb that energy and make it about you. But the Stoics understood that other people's behavior is a reflection of their internal state, not a judgment on your worth. That angry driver who cut you off isn't making a statement about you. He's expressing his own stress, frustration, or pain. That colleague who undermines you in meetings isn't responding to your inadequacy. She's acting from her own insecurity or fear. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or fail to set boundaries. It means you respond to difficult behavior from a place of understanding rather than reactivity. You protect your peace by not absorbing other people's emotional chaos. You maintain your center by recognizing that their storm doesn't have to become your storm. The seventh law challenges our achievement-obsessed culture. Focus on the process, not the outcome. The Stoics taught that we should put our best effort into our actions while remaining detached from specific results. This isn't about becoming lazy or indifferent. It's about finding peace in the doing rather than the getting. When you tie your satisfaction to outcomes, you're setting yourself up for disappointment because outcomes involve variables beyond your control. But when you find fulfillment in showing up consistently, in giving your best effort, in growing and learning regardless of results, you become undefeatable. This principle transforms how you approach everything from your career to your relationships to your health. Instead of saying, I must get this promotion, or I must make this person like me, or I must lose exactly 20 pounds, you say, I will do excellent work consistently. I will be genuine and kind in my interactions. I will make healthy choices daily. The outcome becomes a natural byproduct of the process, and your peace doesn't depend on variables outside your influence. The eighth law reveals something profound about true strength. Embrace obstacles as training. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just poetic language, it's a complete reframe of difficulty. Most people see obstacles as proof that they're on the wrong path, as punishment from the universe, as reasons to give up or feel victimized. But the Stoics saw obstacles as the raw material of wisdom and strength. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to practice patience, creativity, perseverance, or grace under pressure. Every setback is a chance to build resilience and discover inner resources you didn't know you had. Every criticism is an opportunity to examine yourself honestly and either improve or strengthen your convictions. This doesn't mean you should seek out suffering, but when it inevitably arrives, you can transform it from something that happens to you into something that happens for you. The ninth law addresses one of our deepest sources of suffering. Release attachment to how things should be. The word should is often the root of misery. You think your partner should communicate differently. Your boss should appreciate you more. The weather should cooperate with your plans. Other drivers should be more courteous. Your past should have unfolded differently. But reality doesn't consult your preferences. The Stoics taught that peace comes from accepting what is while working skillfully with what you can influence. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on improvement. It means recognizing the difference between acceptance and approval. You can accept that your situation is what it is without approving of it. You can work to change what you can change while making peace with what you cannot. This subtle shift from resistance to acceptance frees up enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy that you can redirect toward effective action. The 10th law reveals a secret about true confidence. Develop indifference to praise and blame. The Stoics understood that when you live for applause, you die by criticism. When your mood depends on other people's approval, you've given away your power to sources you can't control. True inner peace comes from having an internal compass that guides you regardless of external feedback. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or stop listening to feedback. It means you evaluate input based on its merit and usefulness rather than its emotional impact on you. You consider criticism for any wisdom it might contain, while not allowing it to devastate you. You appreciate praise without becoming addicted to it. You make decisions based on your values and wisdom rather than what will make others think well of you. This is perhaps one of the most liberating practices you can develop. The 11th law transforms your relationship with your own mind. Observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. The Stoics were pioneers in what we now call metacognition. Thinking about thinking. They understood that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that observes your thoughts. This distinction is crucial for inner peace because it means you don't have to believe, act on, or be disturbed by every thought that passes through your consciousness. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts every day: worries, judgments, fantasies, memories, plans. Most people identify completely with this mental chatter and feel obligated to react to every thought as if it were reality. But when you learn to step back and observe your thinking patterns with curiosity rather than judgment, you realize that thoughts are just mental events, no different from sounds or physical sensations. You can acknowledge them without being controlled by them. The 12th law challenges our instant gratification culture. Practice delayed gratification and self-discipline daily. The Stoics knew that every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you're building character. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, you're strengthening your integrity. Every time you resist an impulse that would harm your long-term well-being for short-term pleasure, you're investing in your future self. This isn't about becoming rigid or joyless. It's about building the muscle of self-mastery so that your actions align with your values rather than your momentary impulses. When you can trust yourself to follow through on your commitments, when you can rely on yourself to make good decisions even under pressure, you develop an unshakable confidence and peace that comes from internal alignment. The 13th law addresses our relationship with time. Live in the present moment. The Stoics understood that the past exists only in memory and the future only in imagination. The only place where life actually happens is right now. Yet most of us spend our days mentally time traveling, reliving past mistakes or rehearsing future anxieties. This mental absence from the present moment is a major source of suffering and a barrier to peace. Presence isn't just about meditation or mindfulness practices, though those can be helpful. It's about bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing right now. When you're having a conversation, be fully in that conversation rather than planning what you'll say next or thinking about your next appointment. When you're walking, feel your feet touching the ground. When you're eating, taste your food. This quality of attention transforms ordinary moments into experiences of richness and connection. The 14th law reveals something crucial about genuine happiness. Find meaning in serving something greater than yourself. The Stoics believed that humans are naturally social creatures designed to contribute to the common good. Inner peace doesn't come from self-absorption or endless self-improvement projects. It comes from connecting your daily actions to a sense of purpose that extends beyond your personal desires and fears. This doesn't mean you have to become a humanitarian or dedicate your life to charity, though those are noble paths. It means recognizing how your work, your relationships, your daily choices contribute to something larger. Maybe you're raising children who will make the world better. Maybe your work provides value to people you'll never meet. Maybe your kindness to strangers creates ripples of positivity that spread in ways you'll never know. When you shift from "what can I get" to "what can I give," you tap into a source of fulfillment and peace that external circumstances can't touch. The 15th and final law brings everything together. Accept responsibility for your own happiness and peace. This is perhaps the most empowering and challenging principle of all. It means recognizing that no one else is coming to rescue you, fix you, or hand you the life you want. Your partner, your parents, your children, your boss, the government, the universe, none of them are responsible for your inner state. You are. This isn't a burden, it's liberation. It means you're not a victim of your circumstances, your past, your genetics, or other people's actions. It means you have the power to change your experience of life by changing how you think about and respond to life. It means that no matter what has happened to you or what is happening around you, you retain the ultimate freedom, the freedom to choose your response. As we reach the end of this journey together, I want you to sit with this question. Which of these 15 laws resonates most deeply with you right now? Which one, if you really practiced it consistently, would most transform your daily experience of peace and strength? The Stoics didn't learn these principles by reading about them once. They practiced them daily, reflected on them constantly, and refined their understanding through lived experience. Your inner peace isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a practice you cultivate. It's built through small, consistent choices to respond rather than react, to focus on what you can control rather than what you cannot, to live according to your values rather than your impulses. Every moment offers you the opportunity to practice one of these laws. Every challenge is a chance to strengthen your philosophical muscles. Start small. Choose one law that speaks to you and commit to practicing it for the next week. Notice how it changes your experience. Notice how it affects your relationships, your work, your sense of yourself. Then gradually incorporate the others. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The Stoics themselves struggled with these principles. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations as personal reminders, not because he had mastered these ideas, but because he was still working to embody them. You have everything you need right now to begin building unbreakable inner peace. You don't need perfect circumstances, unlimited time, or anyone else's permission. You just need the willingness to take responsibility for your inner world and the commitment to practice these ancient wisdoms in your modern life. The storm outside may rage, but the stillness within, that belongs to you. What will you choose to practice first?